Well, this is something I wasn't expecting to wake up to. Nintendo's official Twitter just announced that Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch is going to be getting 3 N64 games in an update coming in early May. So, for the longest time, I always thought that the N64 Classic would be something physical. It would be like, you know, an N64 Mini, like the NES Mini and the SNES Mini. But it looks like Nintendo is taking that in a completely different direction. They have announced regarding Animal Crossing New Horizons on Twitter this morning that they will be adding Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time from the Nintendo 64, all making their way into Animal Crossing New Horizons. They didn't announce any details on how they'd be putting in there, but what I would imagine is something along the lines of what they did with the original Animal Crossing on the Nintendo GameCube. Now this is ironic because the original Animal Crossing was supposed to be on the N64, but because of a bunch of delays and time constraints and everything else, they ended up pushing it to the GameCube. I think it did originally come out in Japan, but it never actually made its way to the stateside. It's one of those things that a lot of people have always wondered about the origins of Animal Crossing, where it came from. The N64 is actually where it got its start, over in Japan. Might have had something to do with 64DD. I'm not really sure, and I'm not going to spend the time researching that because, quite honestly, I don't really care that much. All I care about is that N64 games are coming to the Nintendo Switch in the form of Animal Crossing New Horizons. And like I mentioned earlier, Animal Crossing's on the GameCube did have a whole bunch of NES ROMs on it. Everything from Super Mario Brothers and The Legend of Zelda, all the way to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, or maybe it was just Punch-Out! With Mr. Dream, but either way, it had a ton of awesome NES games where you could just access by touching the console in your house and it would ask you to play it. I would imagine it would be something along those lines, except instead of an NES, it would be an N64. This is something that's really cool and exciting that I did not expect to hear from Nintendo. I would have liked to see some Super Nintendo games as well, but those are already on the online, you know, the Nintendo Online thing. So people have access to Super Nintendo games, and that probably makes sense as to why they would move forward with N64 on Animal Crossing's New Horizons. It's going to be an update in early May, something that is extremely exciting for people that love these games and wanted a way to play them on a modern console. And yeah, it'll be a motivating factor for people who don't own Animal Crossing already to go out and buy it on top of the record sales that they've already had with this game. It's like it can't get any better. This has been covered already by Kotaku and GameSpot. A lot of people online are talking about this, and it is one of those things that I didn't see it coming, but now that it's here, it all makes sense, and I can't wait to play these games on Animal Crossing. It's a really cool idea, and it makes me wonder, like I said at the beginning of this video, if this is a precursor to the N64 Classic. If it's going to be that, if they're going to make Animal Crossing the N64 Classic, then maybe there'll be more games added in a free update down the road, or maybe they'd even piecemeal them out and sell them individually? I don't know. I don't know how they would do it. I hope they don't go that way. It's cool that Nintendo is offering this to the gamers free of charge, and these games are something that everybody should have the opportunity to play. And it's funny too, because we just talked about Super Mario 64 the other day and how Nintendo is most likely going to be bringing that into the new age. They haven't officially announced that yet, but maybe this is just a way for them to dip their toes in that water, to get people playing it again and wanting a newer version of it. It's a really smart business idea, and honestly, I can't wait for the update in early May 2020. Now that this is a thing and these games are coming to the Nintendo Switch version of Animal Crossing New Horizons, it makes me wonder what games would come in the future after these three pillars of the N64. Mario Kart 64, Mario 64, and Zelda Ocarina of Time, or as people call it, Zelda 64 as well. What else would make a great fit in Animal Crossing New Horizons? And I was thinking, I was like, I would love if they had an officially translated ROM of the original Animal Crossing on the Nintendo 64 that never made its way stateside. that would be pretty cool. And like I said, I've never really even thought about playing that before, but now that these games are coming to the Switch version, why not? Why not show people the roots of what this game came from and have people experience it all new again? I'd imagine the translation efforts would be a massive undertaking, and maybe that's asking a little too much. But other games I'd love to see, Killer Instinct Gold, one of my favorite fighting games ever, would be a great fit. Banjo-Kazooie, I know that's a rare property, but hey, if he's in Smash Brothers, it would be cool if they were able to find a way to bring him back. Star Fox 64 is another mainstay that definitely deserves to be replayed by everybody. There's just so many amazing classic games on the N64 that Nintendo could dive into that are their property, that they don't even have to worry about licensing issues if they just stick with what Nintendo put out. Even Wave Race 64 was an awesome game for the time. There's a ton of different ways. 1080 Snowboarding, another one. I'm not going to keep going through these, but they're all Nintendo properties for the most part that I'm talking about, and they would make a great fit on this. And that's assuming they don't even get licensing deals for the other ones. So, really exciting times here. As far as what Nintendo said on Twitter, officially, we have some exciting news directly from Tom Nook himself. Animal Crossing New Horizons will be getting a free, massive update in early May 2020, including 3 Nintendo 64 classics to play in your home. Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And this is already blowing up on social media. Everybody's sharing it, talking about it, and very excited about it. And honestly, I can't believe it's happening. This is one of those moments in time where it's like Nintendo is finally doing something that's surprising people, and it's really right. It feels right, it feels good, and honestly, it's what they should have done in the first place a long time ago. I always got frustrated in all the new Animal Crossings on the DS, 3DS, and now Switch up to this point, where they got rid of all those ROMs and individual games you could play in it. That was like my favorite part of the original GameCube version. So now they're bringing that back, and honestly, I couldn't be more excited about it. Anyways, I'm not going to keep rambling. I am going to get back to work right now. This news just came out right when I was getting ready for the day, and I'm like, I gotta make a video on this because it's absolutely crazy information. So let me know what you guys think about it. I will put links to all of what I talked about in the description below if you're interested in reading more about it. Definitely check it out. I'm gonna leave the video right there. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.